Stampers, it's Debbie with Stamp It with Debbie, and today I have a fun 3D project to show you using the Carols of Christmas bundle, which includes the Carols of Christmas stamp set along with the coordinating framelits. So let's get started so I can show you this project. As I said, today's project is a diorama, a 3D project, and I want to show you the top view so you can kind of understand when we're putting it together how it goes together. This project folds flat so that you're able to mail it in a standard envelope to someone for the holidays, and when they get it they can pop it open and it stands flat. So let's get started. So for this project I needed 3 pieces of cardstock. The first one, this is a piece of Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper, and that is cut at 5.5 by 4, and it's scored on 3/4 of an inch on both ends. You also need 2 other pieces of paper, and I chose Pool Party and Whisper White, and these pieces are 7 inches by 4 and scored at 1.5 inch on both ends. So we do have just a little bit of big shot work here. So I'm going to grab the big shot. The first thing that we need to do is make a hole here in the first 2 layers so that we can see through to our back layer. So I have my piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to use my layering ovals. This is the second largest oval in the set, and I'm just going to center it in that area between the 2 score marks. Now I want a little more space on the bottom than the top, so I just moved it up just a touch. And I'm going to go ahead and run it through. And then now I want to do the other piece, which is the glimmer paper, and I need to make sure that the hole is going to be lined up. So how I did that, I took the back side that's not sparkly, and then I made sure that my score lines are lined up, and then I just took a pencil and I made a little mark in here because it's the back side, no one will ever see it. And then when I run it through I can kind of look at those marks, and that should be pretty close. If it's not exact, that's okay too. You just want it to be pretty close. All right, so we're going to run this piece through. Now I did cut out some of the framelit pieces, the Christmas trees. I did that to save a little bit of time in the video. All right, so we have this piece and we have this piece. Now we want to start with the back because we'll be gluing them together. So the first thing that I did is I took this little stamp here, and it's got some little snowflakes, and I have my Pool Party ink, and I just want to make some little snowflakes, random snowflakes around. They will be partially covered by the Christmas tree, so it doesn't really matter where they are. And then the next thing I want to do is make sure that my Christmas trees are going to show through the front window. So again, I'm just going to place this card on here, this piece on here, just to kind of eyeball it. And one thing that I wanted to tell you is I did for my Christmas trees, I added just a little bit of iridescent ice onto mine. I'm hoping you can see that. I used a little bit of Tombow glue or 2-way glue pen and put it onto the piece of paper and sprinkled the glitter on there. You could do that, or you could use the Wink of Stella. It doesn't give you as much glitter, but you can do that. So I did that ahead just to save a little bit of time. So again, just use the Tombow or any adhesive, kind of randomly put it on there, sprinkle your glitter on, and you'll have some glittery trees. So for these trees in the back, I'm going to go ahead and we're using a couple different adhesives for this project, and I'll kind of explain as we're going. These are the back layer, so there's not going to be anything in the way for it to stick to, but I'll show you later why we will want to use some different. So I'm just going to kind of sneak in behind there, place this over where I might want it, and now once the first one is set, it's pretty easy to get the other ones lined up. So I'm going to add one more. The color of paper that I used for the Christmas trees, for the back one I use a garden green, and the front one, I used Wild Wasabi. I just wanted to give a little bit of dimension, so I used 2 different colors there. I'm going to add one more of the Wild Wasabi. And I'm going to put that one there. So now you will be ready for your second layer, which is, I'm going to set that one up here a little bit, which is the glimmer layer. So you're going to want to make sure to use your bone folder and make sure that the edges are nice and tight on your fold. And then also I used the tear tape on here because this is a good adhesive for glimmer paper. And I used my bone folder. I really made sure that the tear tape was secure to there. So let's remove that backing here so that we can get our second layer in. All right, so again, we want to make sure that the bigger portion is at the bottom and the smaller portion is at the top, or when we put our front on, they're not going to line up. You want to be right in that crease so that your card will fold flat. And I found that that's the easiest way to do it, is just line it up here instead of trying to put it on the ground or the table here. So again, this one is lined up right in that crease, and I brought it over and made sure it's secure. Now another thing that you can do, because sometimes when we are folding it flat, it doesn't always want to go exactly the way we want it, just secure it with your bone folder. So now we need to add our second layer of Christmas trees in here. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I forgot to add my little reindeer in there. So I'm going to add him before we get too far. This little reindeer here, I'm going to put on that first layer. And I realized that I forgot him. So let's put him on before I get to the top layer and I can't reach it. Let's put him right in there. There he is. Okay, so this next layer, you want to make sure, as I said, we're using a few different adhesives. So if I put adhesive all over the back of this and stuck it in here, when I folded up the card, there would be nothing here to hold it, so it would stick to the back. So for this piece, I just used a little piece of tear tape. And I'm going to remove the backing. And then I want to put this as far to the left as I can, because I don't want it to cover up my little reindeer in there. And so now that layer is done. I just kept that one kind of simple because you're going to have the top layer and you have a lot going in the back layer. One more layer that you do need for the top layer is I put this little border on here, and I'm going to show you how to cut that. So I have a piece of Pool Party, and I have the largest oval, and then I have the third largest oval. And I'm going to put that down. I have my magnetic platform in there. And I'm going to layer them. And you can kind of see there's a little layer of the Pool Party showing. And that's going to create our little frame. And I did create 2 of these. I already did one, again, to save a little bit of time. And this right here is what you end up with. So I think that we should put that on first. And I'm going to use the Tombow glue for that. I'm just going to place a little bit randomly around the edges. And I'm going to do the same for the other piece. And I'll show you why in just a minute, why I did 2 of them. All right. So for the top one, just going to place it on there. Make sure that it's secure. And then when you turn it over, you can kind of see that a little bit of it is showing in the back. And I wanted to make sure, again, that once you fold it all together, that adhesive there, it will dry, but you want to make sure that it's not going to seal your card closed. So I just went ahead and put another one, and I made sure to line it up with the first one. Okay, and now there's the front of my card. So I'm going to use tear tape again on this. Now for this one, this piece right here, is going to, if you can see it like this, you can see that part, it's going to go over this and we're going to secure it on top. So with this piece folded this way, that's the front. We want to put adhesive on these two parts here. So I'm going to put the tear tape on here. I really like this tape because it is just that. You can put it right on and tear it, and you don't even have to use your scissors. All right, so I'm going to pull the backing off of those pieces. Things are getting a little messy over here with those backings. All right, let's push those away. So again, making sure that those are folded inside, and then you're going to take this with the front and just make sure that your two edges meet up and secure that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that your two, the tear and tape is not very forgiving if you actually accidentally set it down, so just be careful and make sure and line it up. So there's our top layer. So I wanted to decorate that up, and I stamped Peace on Earth from the Carols of Christmas stamp set in Pool Party. And then I cut my pieces apart, and I just followed the lines of the stamp. So again, we want to be careful of our placement of the pieces so that they're not going off the edge. And so this piece is pretty good, but I am going to just use tear tape for it anyways. And then I'm going to put this up in the corner here. And then my word on is pretty small, so I think that I'm going to use just a little teeny drop of the Tombow glue. Oop. All right. And then before I put the earth on, I want to put my other Christmas trees and my reindeer. And with these, I put the tear tape on the back because, again, I don't want it to go over into the opening. And then I'm just going to place that on there. And then I have one more with using the garden green. And I'm going to place that one behind. And just make sure that they're very secure on there. And then I have one more little reindeer, and I'm going to use the Tombow glue for him. All right, there he is. And so now I'm ready to put my earth on there. And again, I'm going to use some tear tape. You can also use a dimensional if you would like on that one. Actually, I just realized on my other one I did use a dimensional. So you could do that, or you could just use the tear tape. And then I wanted this to overlap just a little bit. And then again, make sure that it's secure. So there's your project. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you like this project, I hope you will click like down below and visit my blog at stampitwithdebbie@blogspot.com for more project ideas. Thank you for watching this video, and happy stamping.